So I'll just have you guys start in your seated position on your mat. And if you want here, so first we'll just start by grounding, making sure our sits bones are on the ground. It might help to like roll up a towel or put a block underneath your sits bones, which will kind of let your legs drop a little bit more, therefore putting your spine in a more neutral position. And if you want, we'll just take our hands and we'll bring the thumb to the pointer finger and we'll open that up and you can place it on your knees, opening up the chest. This is one of the yoga mudras, which is basically just a yoga pose for our hand. So their hands in that position. We'll close our eyes here. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Bringing your awareness and your attention to your breath. And setting an intention for your practice today. We'll just take a few moments here before we move our body to just let our mind have a little bit of stillness. Maybe while you're here, recognize what you've brought into your practice with you today. And then whenever you're ready, we'll come to our mat, swing those legs around. And we're gonna start in our hands and knees in tabletop position. From tabletop, we'll start our cat-cow flow. So inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the chin, creating space for that air. And then exhaling, arching the back, bringing the chin to chest. Inhale, cow, drop the belly. Exhale, cat. We'll do this to your own breath. Whenever you're ready, we'll bring that to a neutral spine. And then we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips back and up into our downward facing dog. And here we'll have our feet grounded on the mat. Our knees can be bent or they can be straight, whatever helps us keep our tailbone up and our spine neutral as we push the mat away from our feet with our hands. You can walk out the feet here, dropping one heel and then the other. Feeling the sensation in that calf stretch. You may lift both heels at the same time and drop them both. And at any point when we're in downward dog, you're always welcome to come to a child's pose instead. So here, let's all just go into our child's pose. From downward dog, we'll drop the knees. So we're back in our tabletop position. Bring the big toes to touch, the knees come wide on the mat, and then we'll drop our hips down to our heels, reaching our hands out and lowering our forehead to the mat. We'll spend a couple breaths here. If you'd like to make this a more dynamic stretch, you can walk those fingers forward. And then we'll just place our hands firmly on the mat and lift up back into our tabletop position with our shoulders over our wrists and our hips over our knees. We'll tuck the toes one more time into our downward facing dog. And then walk those hands back to your feet in your forward fold. And in forward fold, our feet are on the mat, we're reaching towards the ground. And here we're going to try and keep our spine in a neutral position. So if that means like grabbing a block for you, you can always grab your block, which will help your hips stay high. And then we'll inhale our hands up our shins to flat back. Exhale, reach forward one more time. And then bend the knees and lift all the way up, reaching an extended mountain, and exhale those hands to your side. We'll start with our Sun Salutation A. So inhale those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, place your hands on the mat and step back to plank. Anytime we're in plank, you're welcome to be in a high plank or a kneeling plank. Wherever you are, we'll keep those elbows tight towards our torso, and exhale, bending at the elbows, lowering all the way down to the mat. Keeping our wrists under our shoulders, we'll lift up to our baby cobra. And while we're here, all of the effort is coming from our back. So your hands are there, but mostly for stability, not as much for support. And then exhale back down, tuck the toes, lift up into our downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll step or jump our feet to our hands. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And bend the knees, inhale all the way up, mountain. Hands to our sides. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back. Hands to mat, step or jump back. Plank. We'll hold plank for just a moment. Keeping your body one long straight line. And here, if you choose to, you can go into your cobra, or you can chaturanga, 90-degree bend in the elbows, and lift up to upward dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. On the next exhale, step or jump those feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, reach down. And on the inhale, rise all the way up and bring those hands to your sides. One more sun salutation. Inhale, reach forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat, plank. And on the exhale, cobra or chaturanga. And down dog. We'll hold this downward dog a little bit longer. And then one more inhale. Exhale, hands or feet to hands. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale all the way up. Awesome. So now we'll do our warrior series with a chair. So inhale those arms up. And on the exhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, lower down into our chair pose. Being sure that your knees are in line with your ankles. Back is still in a neutral spine, and our glutes and our quads are engaged. On the inhale, rise up a little bit, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or jump back to plank. From plank, you can either stay here or you can do 3 yogi push-ups if you want. Then we'll exhale, chaturanga and up dog. And downward facing dog. We'll reconnect with the breath here. Then inhale, bring that right leg towards the ceiling and step it through to your right, or through to your hands. So we're in our lunge here. We'll drop that left heel to the mat and bring the torso up. Warrior 1. Again, we want to make sure the knee is in line with the ankle. See if you can drop into that 90-degree angle. One more inhale here. And exhale, open to warrior 2. From warrior 2, we'll bring that left hand to our left leg. Turn your right palm so it's facing towards the ceiling, and we'll reach that up, creating space on the right side. And exhale, Bringing your right elbow to your right knee, the left arm reaches up towards the sky. And then we'll rotate both those hands to the mat. So we're back in our high lunge. Step the foot back to plank. From plank, we'll lower down, chaturanga, up dog. And lift the hips, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll inhale that left leg to the ceiling. And step it through to your hands. In our high lunge for a moment. And we'll drop that right heel to the ground. Lift the torso in warrior one. And this is a pose of stability, so see if you can bring that outside edge of your right foot to the mat. And then one more inhale. And exhale, open to warrior two. Knees over the ankle, arms are out to either side, long and straight. We'll bring that right hand to our right leg, the left arm reaches towards the sky, creating space in our left side. And then exhaling, bring our left elbow to our left knee. Right arm reaches up, side angle. And then we'll rotate both those hands to the mat and step back, plank. You can stay in plank if you'd like, or you can do 3 yogi push-ups, lowering 90 degrees. And then lowering chaturanga and upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a moment to reconnect with your breath here. If you'd like, this might be a good time to move into child's pose for a moment. One more breath. And then bring both of your feet to meet your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, back into chair pose. One more inhale. Exhale, and inhale all the way up to mountain. Bring those arms to your sides. Awesome, so from here, we'll just take a couple of deep breaths. So bring those arms up on the inhale, down on the exhale, inhale up, Exhale down. Inhale up one more time. Exhale all the way down to your forward fold. From your forward fold, we'll step back with the right foot. Straighten that front leg, the back leg. Feet are both pointing forward. We'll just lift up a little bit until your back is in a neutral spine, and then slowly reach down, keeping your back as neutral as you can. Lift up, and we'll open that right foot so it's perpendicular to our left. Bring hands out to either side, and hinging from your waist, we'll reach as far as we can towards the left side. Bring your left hand down. Right arm comes up in triangle. From here, we'll lift up back to where we were. Bring both of your feet so they're facing towards the side of your mat. You can walk them out a little bit if you want. And then we'll exhale, starting to hinge from the hips. And then you can fold over into your forward fold here. You can kind of play around with this position however you want. Bend one knee and then the other. Or walk your hands to one side. Whatever you choose to do, I'll give you a couple breaths here. And then we'll inhale up halfway. Exhale, reach down as far as you can towards the mat. And then inhale all the way up. Hands come to your sides. We'll walk those feet a little bit closer together. And then we'll rotate our right foot so it's pointing towards the back of our mat. Bring both hands out as far as you can. We'll reach as far as we can forward towards the right side, and then bring that right hand down. Left arm comes up in triangle on the right side. And bring that all the way back up. Hands come to your side. We'll rotate that left foot. So both our feet are pointing towards the back of your mat, hinging from the hips. We'll reach down into pyramid pose. And all the way back up. We'll just turn around and step towards the front of our mat one more time. We'll do a couple of balancing postures. So first, we'll start to ground our feet. You can step on one foot and the other until you feel like you're grounded. We'll make sure that heel is firmly in the mat. Then we'll focus on our big toes. And then see if you can roll through the rest of your toes to your pinky toes. So we have our big toe and our pinky toe and our heel. And that's kind of like our tripod with our feet. We want to make sure that's very grounded. And then we'll start to lift up the right leg. And we'll just bring that knee to center. And we'll flex the right foot, bring the right ankle to our left knee. Inhale, arms up, bring them to your heart center. and lower into this position, bending the knee and dropping the hips into figure 4. And this should also feel like a pretty good stretch. Paying attention to the sensations that we feel. We'll inhale that up. Without dropping your feet to the ground, if you can, reach back with your right hand to grab that ankle. Inhale, left arm up, and then hinging from the hips. We'll lower, reaching with our leg, keeping our focus on a single still point. If you fall out, that's okay, just step back in. And then bring that back to center. Drop your right leg down and walk those feet out a little bit. And then we'll ground with our feet one more time. So making sure the heel is firm on the mat. We'll drop our big toe and then roll through the rest of them to our pinky toes. Spread wide on the mat. Start to lift up our left foot. Bring that left knee to center. Flex the right foot to protect the ankle and the knee. And bring that left ankle to your right knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring them to heart center as you drop the hips and bend the knee. And our figure 4 pose on the right side. We'll inhale that all the way up. Hands come to your side and we'll grab our left ankle with our left hand. Right arm comes up, hinging at the hips into half Shiva. Bring that back to center and release. Walk out those feet. From here, we'll inhale our arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Place your hands on the mat and step or jump back to plank. And we're going to do a couple of plank postures. So if you'd like, you can drop your knees here. Or if you're feeling extra strong today, you can keep your knees lifted. But just know that we'll be in plank for a little bit. So we'll first bring that right arm up and our left leg up. And bring those out to the sides. And center. And then we'll drop back down, turn neutral position. Same with the left side, so left arm, right leg up. Then out to either side. Back to center. And release. Here we'll place our right hand in the center. Rotate over. So again, if you want to be kneeling, you can have your right knee on the mat and your left leg extended. We'll lift our left arm. Or if you'd rather be in a high plank, you can bring that right leg underneath your left. We'll bring that back to center. Left hand comes to the center. Left knee is either dropped with our right arm high or underneath our right foot. And back to center. From here, we'll bring our right hand to center again. Left arm up and left leg. So kneeling or lifted. Back to center. And left arm comes to the center. Right arm high, right leg high. So kneeling or lifted. And back to center. From here, we'll bring our right arm to the center one more time. In our kneeling or lifted position, we'll do 3 lifts with our left leg. And bring that back to center. Same with the left side, so left hand in the center. Right arm is high, kneeling or lifted, and 3 lifts with that right leg. Whenever you're ready, bring that back to center. Drop your knees, big toes touch, knees wide. Drop the hips in child's pose. Reconnecting with your breath here. And then we'll place our hands firmly on the mat, lift up, tabletop position. From tabletop, we'll just drop all the way down to our stomachs. You can bring your hands out to either side, palms face down. And on the inhale, we'll lift the chest, reaching our fingers out towards the wall behind us. And if you'd like to lift your legs, you can, or you can keep them on the mat, whatever feels best. In locust pose. And drop one cheek to the mat. And we'll lift that up. We'll bring our left forearm in front of us. Flexing our right foot, our right hand will come back to that ankle and we'll lift the chest high here in half bow. Opening through the right side. And exhale, release. You can bring your other cheek to the mat here for a quick rest. Then we'll bring our right forearm in front of us. We'll flex that left foot and grab our left ankle with our hand. And inhale, lift. Feeling the sensation in the left side. And release back to the mat. Bring both your hands under you and we'll just lift up to our tabletop position and then walk our hands back so we're in a kneeling position at the back of our mat. From here, We'll lift up so we're high on our knees. We'll tuck those toes and move into camel pose. So bringing those hands to our low back, glute area. We'll open the chest, starting to lean back. And if you feel like going into a fuller expression and you're getting a green light, we'll bring both those hands at the same time to reach down to our ankles. If you're still feeling good, you can even drop those feet so they're untucked. When you're ready to get out of the pose, you'll just walk those hands up your legs. And we'll we'll bring our hips back to our heels into child's pose, reaching our hands forward for a bit of a flexion. Coming up to tabletop one more time. We'll swing those legs around to the side and straight out in front of us. So we're sitting in Dandasana or staff pose. If you want, this might be a good spot to put a block underneath of you, so your spine can be more neutral. So from here, we'll just start to reach forward towards our legs. And then finally folding over. And then back to our straight spine. We'll open up, bring those soles of your feet to touch. Your legs are wide on the mat. And we're in butterfly pose. So you can fold over this if you want for stretching hip flexors. And back to center. Bring our knees to a tented position on the mat. We'll drop down onto our back. Here we'll go into bridge pose or wheel pose. So I'll demonstrate bridge first and then wheel. You guys can follow along and do whichever one you want. So in bridge, we'll have our shoulders grounded on the mat. We'll lift our hips. And if you'd like a supported bridge, you can bring your block underneath those hips. So the point is that our hips are high and we're one long straight line from our knees to our shoulders. If you'd like to do wheel pose, we'll drop those hips to the ground. Bring your hands near your ears. And we'll lift up, so it'll be just our hands and our feet on the ground. If you want a little bit more of a back bend, you can walk those hands a little closer to your feet. And wherever you are, we'll just drop back down onto the mat with our knees in a tented position. Bring that right knee into chest. And then our left knee. And then we'll bring both those legs high towards the ceiling. This might be a good spot for a wall, or you can place your hands or a block underneath your low back to help with the inversion. We'll drop both those legs back down in their tented position. Hands come out to either side. So your palms are facing up. We'll reach that right heel out as far as we can, and then drop it towards the mat. And then the left heel as far as we can, and then dropping it on the mat. In Savasana. So while you're here, you can close your eyes. Bring your awareness back to your breath. And then let all thoughts leave your mind. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. Wherever you are, start to bring awareness back to your breath. into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a big inhale and roll over briefly to the left side. And then whenever you're ready, we'll just walk those hands around until you're in a seated position. Inhale the arms up and exhale them to heart center. Thank you guys for practicing with me today. Namaste.